Well, hello and good evening, everybody. Welcome back here to Maconi Entertainment, and welcome to the dawning of a new season and a new era. Welcome, everybody, to the 2026 Friday Night Lights series, and welcome to the Boogity 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 300 here at Daytona. Let's get the season up, rolling, and ready to rock by taking a look at your first starting grid of the season. And off the back of a 7-win campaign in 2025, Bryson Nixonball starting this season off on the right note by starting from the pole position. Casey Graves set to join Bryson Nixonball on your front row. Looking right behind them in row number 2, it is Justin Hall alongside Jeremy Brown, the 1 and the 06, looking to prove themselves. Keep an eye on that Team Connie stable. They were quick throughout last year. Kevin Zosiak has got to start this race in P5 alongside Jonathan Delaney, a one-time race winner from the 2025 season. And right behind in P7 is Daniel Wiles alongside Eric Wineland, another one-time race winner from that season. Had a pretty deep playoff run after winning the playoff opener at Bristol. And then rounding out your top 10, we have Larry McDonald alongside Dave Hoytsma. Howie, how about we look at the field inside the top 20, but outside the top 10?
A lot of cars here, so I'm going to have to start keeping the pace up. We did get all 40. Cody Bird makes 11th next to Cliff Mullins. You see some of these cars having identical times on the board. Jacob Simpson is next to Kyle Amon. Matthew Boston Wheeler is next to Mason Nat Lowry. And Brian Workman is in 17th next to Joseph McWhorter. His car's starting to rev up right next to me. You never really know what you can here. Tyler Hunter is in 19th next to Bill Hull in 20th.
Yeah, and then looking outside your top 20, it's Jesse Winslow in P21, Charles Eaton in P22. Looking right behind on your 12th row, it's Steve Benjamin alongside Tanner Marty. Right behind in P25 here in this race is going to be Eddie Rose alongside Tim Phillips, starting this race in 26th place. Row number 14 will be Rich Kleiman alongside Nathaniel Pollard, drivers that we saw somewhat often last season, as with the case of Hunter Schroll and Michael Menard, who we did not see last season, at least to my memory. Starting at P31 will be Ryan Voichnell alongside Brandon Hunsinger. At P33 will be JC Gibson alongside Alex Princeton, and then right behind him, P35 will be Wesley Naper alongside Tommy Gossett, starting this race in 36th. John D. Nichols will start in 37th, Noah Woods in P38, and then rounding out your 40-car grid will be Hunter Bogdan alongside Michael Deach. Some new names, some returning names, and some fantastic racing actions to look forward to this season. Quick little touch on the race format: 120 laps for the 300-miler that we have got here tonight. Stage breaks coming on the 30, so at lap 30 and lap 60. It's the end of the laps to make that more specific. 4 tire sets allowed to these racers, 17x limit, and Howie, this is going to be a pretty wild start to this season. I have a good feeling about it, though.
The small brother of the Daytona 500 first 2 stages is probably going to be on the simple side, although every point does matter with no winner in this time around, and people are going to want to collect their stage points. That final run is when we hope to see green flag pit stops out of these drivers, of course, on the field. But you know what? You've never done a Boogity. We don't have Kirk Mills. I think you should do it for the Boogity 300.
Yeah, here we go. Boogity, boogity, boogity. Let's go racing here at the World's Center of Racing. As I blow out Howie's speakers in the production truck and get a noise complaint from my neighbors, Bryson Nixonball still holding on to the top spot as they head their way down the backstretch for the very first time. Nixonball starting this race from the pole and continue on the momentum that we saw last year. 7-win season. If we were running this format, he may very well have become your series champion, but he didn't have a good run in the playoffs, and must be said, ran into some difficulties, looks to try and right the wrongs this season and have an even better campaign in 2026. He leads the first lap. 1 lap left to go here in stage number 1 for race number 1 of the season. And Eddie Rose and Casey Graves still side by side for the top spot. Jacob Simpson right there in tow. Daniel Wiles will be the one pushing the 0-1 of Casey Graves. We'll have to see if they can make it work out. It's more lap cars. You can see drivers trying to crowd down a little bit to the bottom. This is going to get tense. Who's going to win out in the drag race, though? Rose and Graves neck and neck, heading into 3 and 4 for the final time here in the first stage. Looks like the momentum is going the way of the 46 through the turn, but look at the 0-1 on the high side. Casey Graves in that orange and white machine, gonna try and fight it back as they head their way into the tri-oval. Will it be Rose or will it be Graves? He can give it to Rose by a nose over Simpson, who's able to jump up to the top side right at the very end. Bryson Ixenball now getting the push farther behind from Eddie Rose. Gonna get the nose out, heading down into 1 and 2. But look at the momentum playing once again by Casey Graves. Gonna keep it rolling on the bottom. This is gonna be an old school drag race as they head their way down the backstretch for the final time. Look at a driver breaking out a little bit farther behind. That's a gutsy maneuver. I think that's Kyle Amon trying to make something work there. And you know what? He's not completely stalling out on the momentum, just has no assistance there. Ixenball was able to jump down to the bottom in front of Casey Graves, and unless we see a major run from Eddie Rose, looks like that is going to give him the stage win here in stage number 2. There's Ixenball, your winner in stage 2 here at Daytona.
There's 47s on this pack, so they're just running slower behind. They might not actually end up catching by the end with 10 to go, which means it's down to these drivers to put their name in Friday Night Lights history. Oh no, where's a yellow? Oh no, what just happened? Jesse Winslow.
Yeah, it's only the second yellow for incident here tonight. Let's go back in the field and take a look at it. Oh, and that's how it kick-started in a farther back pack. They stack it up huge, heading off to 1 and 2. A lot of time. Oh, now holding on to a P6 spot. Make that P5 all shaping around. 3 to go here at Daytona. Oh no, they wreck behind, heading on through the trial. Well, that's a stack 'em up wreck fest, and that is going to wipe out the whole back half of the field. Will we get to use the other ones, or will this be go time? Certainly go time with this restart for No Woods, and Eddie Rose as they gas up the throttle and head their way out of the tri-oval into turn number 1 and 2. Looks like Woods just does not have any assistance behind. Rose going to get the help from McWhorter and Brinson.
You really don't want to get a good jump on the field at Daytona. You'd rather leave it as late as possible, because then you just leave drivers behind you and you're left out to try out there. That top lane is going to connect to Woods. He's going to dip down. I'm really not sure what's going on over there. He's just been jumped by McWhorter on the way. Maybe we can play that later and see what happens if that ends up being significant. McWhorter now jumps up into the lead. He almost gets turned again. He keeps it together. Oh, this is unbelievably scary, but we got one more lap to go, and we might finish it on this one.
Yeah, and the field getting close to it. They're going to take the white flag. One more lap of racing action here on the Boogity 300 season opening race at Daytona. And Eddie Rose, Joseph McWhorter, Alex Brinson, No Wood, Bill Hull, and everybody else want to try and taste the champagne in victory lane. Only problem is one driver is going to get the opportunity to, and the rest of them are going to lose out on the opportunity. You have to think about Atlanta next time out. Look at Eddie Rose. Driver spinning farther in the back. That's No Woods getting turned. John Nichols picks up a DQ. McWhorter gets turned himself by the 9 of Princeton. Everybody's wrecking around them. Rose gonna jump into that top spot, but he's gonna stall out the momentum. Everybody is crashing around these drivers. McWhorter ran into troubles, thought he was gonna win this race. Rose didn't run into troubles. He's gonna win this race. Eddie Rose gonna grab the checkered flag here at Daytona in a cluster of a finish.